You're standing in line at the checkout counter and your cart is full. Nothing crazy, groceries, a few household items, maybe something small you've been eyeing for weeks, and the cashier reads out the total. You tap your card and somewhere in the back of your mind, you already know, that purchase just went on the credit card again. And you tell yourself it's fine. You'll pay it off next month, that it's normal. Millions of people are doing the exact same thing every single day. Swiping, borrowing, financing, and convincing themselves it's normal, but normal isn't the same as okay. Because while you've been treating debt like a tool, some of that debt has been quietly picking your pocket every single month. So today, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about bad debt, what it is, why it's the number one thing standing between you and real wealth, and exactly what you can do to stop it from running your financial life. By the end of this video, you'll know how to spot bad debt, why it works against you, and the steps you can start taking today to break free from it. So grab a notebook, let's get into it. What is bad debt, really? Before we go any further, let's make sure we're on the same page, because not all debt is created equal. There are two kinds of debt in this world. There's good debt, and there's bad debt. Good debt is debt that works for you. It's debt that puts something in your corner that grows in value or increases your ability to earn. Think a mortgage on a home that appreciates over time. Think a student loan for a degree that opens doors to a higher income. Think a business loan that funds something that generates more money than it costs. Good debt is an investment. It has a return. Bad debt is the opposite. Bad debt is debt that works against you. It costs you money without giving you anything that grows in return. It funds things that lose value the moment you buy them, or things that are already gone by the time you're still paying for them. Let me paint that picture clearly. You finance a brand new car. The moment you drive it off the lot, it drops in value. You're now paying interest on something that's worth less every single month. That's bad debt. You max out a credit card on a vacation. The trip is over. The memories are great. But the bill is still sitting there, growing with interest. That's bad debt. You buy the latest phone on a payment plan you didn't need because your old one worked just fine. That's bad debt. Bad debt is borrowing money for things that don't make you money back, and then paying extra for the privilege of doing it. And here's what makes it so dangerous, it feels completely normal. Because we live in a world that has been designed to make borrowing feel easy, necessary, and even smart. Why bad debt feels so normal? Think about it. Credit card offers show up in your mailbox before you even have your first job. By now, pay later buttons are on every single online checkout page. Car dealerships don't talk about the price of the car, they talk about the monthly payment. Furniture stores offer 0% interest for 12 months like they're doing you a favor. Everything around you is designed to make you comfortable with borrowing. And the scariest part? It works. The average household is carrying thousands in credit card debt alone. People are financing phones, financing furniture, financing clothes, financing vacations. And because everyone is doing it, it stops feeling like a problem. It starts feeling like just life. But here's what they don't tell you. Every month you carry bad debt, you are paying someone else with money that could have been building your future. You're not just spending money, you're sending it in the wrong direction. Away from you. Towards interest. Towards fees. Towards a system that profits every single time you swipe without the cash to back it up. Bad debt doesn't just cost you money. It costs you time. It costs you options. It costs you the version of your life that could have existed if that money had stayed in your hands and worked for you instead. The real cost of bad debt. Let's talk numbers, because this is where it gets real. Say you have $5,000 on a credit card with a 20% interest rate. That's pretty standard. And let's say you're making the minimum payment every month, which is what most people do, because it's what feels manageable. Do you know how long it takes to pay that off? Over 20 years. And by the time it's done, you would have paid close to $8,000 in interest alone. On top of the $5,000 you originally spent. That's $13,000 for something that originally cost $5,000. And whatever you bought with that money? It's long gone. Now flip that around. What if instead of paying $200 a month to a credit card company, you invested that same $200 every month? In 20 years, at a modest return, that money could grow to over $100,000. The difference between those two paths? One decision. One habit. The choice of whether your money works for you or against you. That's what bad debt costs you. Not just dollars, but the entire financial future those dollars could have built. How bad debt becomes a trap. Here's where it gets even more serious. Bad debt doesn't just sit still. It moves. It grows. And if you're not paying attention, it starts to take over. It usually starts small. One credit card with a small balance. One car payment. One "I'll just put it on the card and deal with it later." But then something happens, an unexpected bill, a job change, a slow month, and suddenly you're only making minimum payments. And minimum payments barely touch the interest. So the balance barely moves. And the next month, the same thing happens. And the month after that. Before you know it, you have multiple cards, multiple balances, and a minimum payment that takes up a big chunk of your monthly income. And because so much of your money is going toward debt payments, you have less to save, less to invest, and less to handle emergencies, which means the next time something unexpected happens, you reach for the card again. That's the cycle. Borrow to survive. Pay the minimum. Fall short. Borrow again. And the trap is, it feels impossible to get out of. Not because it is. But because the system is designed to keep you in it as long as possible. The good news? You can break the cycle. But first you have to see it clearly. How to identify bad debt in your own life. So let's make this personal. Pull out that notebook. I want you to write down every single debt you currently have. Every one: credit cards, car loans, personal loans, buy now pay later balances, store cards, and everything. Now next to each one, ask yourself 3 questions. Question 1. Did this debt buy something that is growing in value, or something that has already lost value or is gone? Question 2. Is the interest rate on this debt higher than what I could reasonably earn investing that same money? Question 3. Does this debt produce any income or financial return for me? If the answer to all 3 is no, that's bad debt. A credit card balance for everyday spending? Bad debt. A car loan on a depreciating vehicle? Almost always bad debt. A personal loan for a vacation or wedding? Bad debt. A payday loan? That's the worst kind of bad debt there is. Now I'm not here to make you feel bad about any of this. Most of us were never taught how to think about debt this way. We were taught to manage monthly payments, not to evaluate the actual cost of borrowing. But now you know. And knowing is the first step. The step-by-step plan to escape bad debt. Alright. Now let's talk about what to actually do about it. This is a 4-step process. It's not complicated, but it does require consistency. Step 1. Stop adding new bad debt. This sounds obvious. But it's the hardest part for most people. You cannot dig your way out of a hole while you're still digging. So the very first thing you have to do is put down the shovel. That means, for now, the credit card stays in the drawer. The buy now pay later option gets skipped. The new car that's just slightly out of your budget? Not right now. I'm not saying forever. I'm saying until you have a handle on what you already owe. You cannot focus on getting out of debt if you keep creating new debt at the same time. Step 2. Know exactly what you owe. Go back to that list you made. Add the interest rate next to every debt. Add the minimum payment, add the total balance. Now you have a real picture, not a vague, stressful cloud in the back of your head, an actual number, an actual list. Most people avoid this step because seeing it all written out feels overwhelming. But the overwhelm lives in the not knowing. Once you see the real numbers, you can make a real plan. Step 3. Choose your payoff strategy. There are 2 popular methods for paying off debt, and both of them work. You pick the one that fits how your brain is wired. The first is the debt snowball. You pay off the smallest balance first, regardless of interest rate. When that one is gone, you take that payment and add it to the next smallest. The wins come fast, and the momentum keeps you going. The second is the debt avalanche. You pay off the highest interest rate first, regardless of balance size. This saves you the most money over time, but the wins take longer to feel. If you need motivation and quick wins to stay on track, snowball. If you're disciplined and want to minimize what you pay in total, avalanche. Either way, the key is picking one and sticking to it. Step 4. Find extra money to throw at it. The faster you pay down bad debt, the less interest it collects. So your goal is to put as much money as possible toward your debt payoff, beyond the minimums. Where does that extra money come from? Look at your spending first. Not to punish yourself, but to find the leaks. Subscriptions you forgot about, eating out more than you realized, spending that crept up without you noticing. Even an extra $50 or $100 a month can cut years off your debt payoff timeline. Look at your income second. Can you pick up extra hours? Sell something you no longer use? Take on a small side gig temporarily? Every extra dollar that goes toward debt is a dollar that stops collecting interest and starts setting you free. How to build a life without bad debt. Once you've cleared the bad debt, or even while you're working on it, you need to build habits that keep it from coming back. Because here's the truth, getting out of debt once doesn't protect you if the patterns that created the debt are still in place. Build an emergency fund first. Even a small one, $500 to $1,000 to start. This is the thing that stops you from reaching for the credit card every time something unexpected happens. When the car breaks down or the medical bill shows up, you have cash to handle it. No new debt required. Use credit cards strategically, not emotionally. A credit card is a tool, so used it right, paying in full every month builds your credit score and sometimes earns you rewards. Used wrong, carried month to month bleeds you dry. The rule is simple: if you can't pay it off at the end of the month, don't put it on the card. Ask yourself one question before every purchase: is this something I can afford with the money I actually have right now? Not the money coming next week. Not the credit limit on your card. The money in your account today. That one question will save you thousands over your lifetime. Learn the difference between lifestyle and wealth. Bad debt usually comes from trying to live a lifestyle we haven't financially earned yet. The new car, the designer bag, the luxury apartment, none of that is wrong in itself. But if it's funded by debt that doesn't return anything, you're trading your future wealth for present appearances. Real wealth is quiet. It doesn't always look expensive, rather it looks like options. It looks like not panicking when something goes wrong. It looks like your money working for you instead of the other way around. Your money, your future. So let's bring it all home. Bad debt is not just a financial problem, it's a life problem. It limits your choices, it keeps you stuck, it takes the money you work hard for and funnels it away from your future. But it is not permanent and it is not a life sentence. You are not too far gone. Every single person who has ever gotten out of bad debt started exactly where you are right now, with a number they didn't love, a habit they needed to change, and a decision to do something different. That decision is available to you today. Write down what you owe, pick your strategy, stop the bleeding and start the climb. Your future self, the one with options, with savings, with breathing room, is built one decision at a time. Starting with this one. I'm Cassie. And this is Invest with Cassie, because your money should work as hard as you do. If this helped you, hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. Drop a comment below and tell me, what's the one debt you're focused on tackling first?